Ladies and gentlemen, we have another special guest. It's NFL pro Pat Morrison. This show will include his football journey and some current NFL topics. And I'd like to welcome Mr. Pat himself on our show and get it all started with, how did you get involved with football as a kid?
Well, Zach, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me this morning. Talk about my journey. Good friend of ours, I think you've interviewed him, Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker.
Heck yeah, man.
Confirmed that you're a wonderful guy, great guy to talk to. So it's my honor to be here this morning and just give you my point of view and my journey, my short period of time with the Giants and playing football in general. So as you can see behind me, my sign, my background talks about living the American dream. You see two flags. You see like the British English flag, and you see the American flag, which talks about where I was born. I was born in London, England. So I knew nothing about American football, right? So in my book, I talk about coming here when I was 8 years old. And I think I was 8 or 9 when I saw my first football game, which was against the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Dallas Cowboys in the 1975 Super Bowl. And everyone knows about that great catch that Lynn Swann made, diving and floating through the air at that time. And I said I wanted to play that game. I wanted to play that American football game. So it was at that point where I got introduced to American football. And maybe a few years later, you know, most cities have a Pop Warner League. And I joined Pop Warner midget football, and my career started there.
Heck yeah, man. Besides Lynn Swann, who else were some of your sports role models?
So as I got older and I learned more about the sport, and I actually patterned my game in college after him, was Lester Hayes, who played corner for the Raiders. As you can see, my jersey is 37, which his number was 37 as well. But he would really, you know, those were the days when they had stickum on their hands and on their jerseys. But he really was a very tenacious type of defensive back, and I just liked the way he played. So I used to be a Raider fan and a Steeler fan.
Definitely. So scrolling it forward to the NFL process, about that process, what was your favorite part, and what was the part that you had to learn to overcome each and every day?
So my favorite part, first, I would say just to be recognized as one of the top players in the country, to have an opportunity to put on a professional uniform, just the opportunity. I was ranked number 20 in the country as a defensive back. The number one person that year was a man named Rod Woodson, who Hall of Famer, who played for the Pittsburgh Steelers for many years, and I was number 20. So I'm glad that my few achievements on the field were recognized, and I was given the opportunity to play in the National Football League. One of the things that I had to understand is the business of football. Yeah, what we see is Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon attendees on our television. It's a business, right? And it's a money-making business, and sometimes business is tough to swallow some of the decisions that coaches have to make, and sometimes decisions players have to make. I think in today's market, we see players taking control of their futures more so now than ever before. So one thing I had to get my head around was the business of football. And I talk about it in my book, in my second book, which just came out. It's called Upon This Ground I Trod, which talks about the behind the scenes things I encountered. And I actually walked away from a contract with the Miami Dolphins. So that is the business of football, to walk away from a contract in that football league. That just says it's more than what you see on Sunday afternoon.
Definitely. Nowadays, that doesn't usually happen. They sign on the dotted line, man.
Well, they also making more money than what we made back then too. So
Definitely.
it makes it a little bit harder.
So, life after football for you, Pat, how have you applied the trials and tribulations to your personal life?
One thing that football has done, and I keep going back to my book because my journey to the National Football League has a lot to do with who I am today, and taking some pains that I experienced as a young man and transferring them to the football field that made me successful. So it taught me that in life, you're going to be encountered with certain situations, and you can't just be emotional and have outbursts and different things like that. You have to find somewhere to deviate or detour some of those things that may cause you to maybe not say the right things, maybe not do the right things. You have to find an outlet to release some of those pressures, some of those energies, some of those negative thoughts, some of those negative behaviors that sometimes temptation, sometimes situations put us in. We just have to find alternative. And I had to do that. I had to learn to do that, to find alternative ways to get some of that anger out. And over the years, I took martial arts. I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I had to get to the gym, I had to roll around, choke somebody out legally, to get some of those. But you got to find a way, right? You got to find a way. And that helped me to be more compassionate and passionate, to understand everyone is going through something. And hopefully I could be a source of example of how to be a better person in that regard.
Definitely. I think we all do, my friend. We all have to strive for God's purpose in our life.
Sir.
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
So let's transition to a new topic. And these questions are brought to you by B&D Sports Media. I'll let you take your side of things, and I'll take mine on them. What are the chances the Giants move on from Daniel Jones?
Mr. Mara is from around from my neighborhood in New Rochelle, and I know the family. My sons and grandsons played with each other at Iona Prep. So they're a family-oriented organization. They don't give up on their people. They give you chances. They gave me a chance. Daniel is a great athlete, just a great athlete overall. I think he needs maybe to be surrounded with some more help, or from an offensive line perspective, and give him some more protection. I think with proper protection, his athletic ability, he may be able to do some things. But who knows, right? Once again, it's business. And, New Yorkers have a short attention span, and we want to win today.
Definitely. But they surrounded him this past offseason with talent. Rudolph came in the door, the receiver from the Lions, I believe, and several other guys.
Yeah.
Why do you think that hasn't made any difference?
Well, cohesiveness, right? So once again, you need your front line to be able to give Daniel time. It's all right. You have the skill players, you have different players that can make plays, but if I could be back there like Brady, maybe Daniel have some numbers like Brady too. Brady sometimes has some time back there to do his thing and pick and choose what receiver he wants to go to. So I think that has a lot to do with his success. I'm here Monday morning quarterback, but that is what I see as a former player and as a fan of football. That he's a good athlete. My son actually played against him when he was at Duke, and he beat us up pretty bad. My son plays at Army. Well, he did play at Army. Graduated this year, so he's a good athlete. Maybe another year or two, and then we'll see.
I think his rookie contract's about to hit. So I think the Giants, for my side of things, I think they really need to push all their chips to the middle of the table and go all in. Like, those rookie contracts, it's a lot more cap friendly than spending $30+ million on a quarterback, which is the market.
Right. but it's that second contract is when they really get paid. So the question is, from a business perspective, is the Giants willing to go long-term with him on the mega contract, or cut their losses when his contract's up and trade him? So that's the business decision and the faith they have to have in Daniel, and understand like, hey, I think he has potential. You just got to surround him and give him time to do his thing. Got one of the best running backs in the league. If he doesn't do anything else, give him the ball. But Saquon hasn't done much on the ground either. He's getting smothered.
Injuries are starting to pile up on him.
Yeah, right. And we know what he could do. But we just
coming out of Penn State.
Right.
Beast.
And he still could, and we've seen flashes of that excellence, catching the ball one hand, jumping over people, running through people, running past people. He has what it takes. You just got to give him a little bit of space. And he doesn't always have to get beat up in doing it. So, they may need to look at someone on that front line, but maybe even bring in a veteran. Bring in a veteran that could really, that's been in the league that is shown to be that guy that could really open up some holes and give Daniel some backside help if need be, and go forward from there. We'll see. I'm just a Monday morning quarterback.
If they moved on and drafted,
I don't get paid the big money. I'm sorry, say it again.
If they moved on and drafted a quarterback in this upcoming draft, who do you think it would be? My opinion is Ryan, the Pickett from Pitt. That showed all the flashes this year.
He's very good. But there's a quarterback from out of Western Kentucky that's very good. So, once again, my son played against him, and he's broken all kinds of records out in Western Kentucky. He's also a great quarterback that could probably come in there and sling the ball downfield and get the balls to the receivers. So, they have some options. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Because bringing in another quarterback of that caliber, compete. So now your decision making as a starter is going to be more precise and more concentrated, more cognitive. And you're going to be really thinking about making the right plays because someone's on your tail to take your position. So competition brings out the best in all of us.
Yeah, for the guy from Pitt, they're going to have to trade up a couple spots. He's like the number one draft quarterback prospect coming out.
Yeah, he's going to go early. Yeah. I agree with you.
For sure. So my next question from B&D Sports Media, the Vita Vea contract that Tampa Bay gave him yesterday, I believe it was 4 years extension. How do you think that will impact that team going forward?
Who is this? I'm sorry.
Vita Vea, the defensive tackle.
I'm a defensive guy.
For sure.
Defense wins games. It's all right to have the flashy guys and the OBJs on out there and all the flashy guys that make the touchdowns, but defense wins games. So whatever you got to pay in today's market to get the best, to solidify your defense, you got to do it. You have to do it. Even if your offense doesn't score, if you got a good defense and the opposing offense is not going to score, it's going to be a tie or a low-scoring game. But defense wins games. I don't care what anyone says. When I played for a short period of time, I was fortunate enough to be on the field with Lawrence Taylor. I don't think there's enough money today to pay that man, how great he was. And if the Giants would have ever thought to trade him, to save money, to whatever, that would have been the worst decision in Giant history. But they knew the value of him and what he brings to the field and what he brings to the team, the camaraderie in the locker room. You got to pay him what he deserves, because it's more than what you see. He brings everyone, and he brings everyone else's level up. If LT's playing like this, hey, Carl, on the other side, you better bring it. Harry, you the veteran in the middle. I know you got me too. So it's the whole Gary Reasons, the whole 9 yards. Burt in the middle. They're all, Marshall. They're all there because they know, hey, he could have went anywhere, but he decided to stay, and he's expect us to play at a certain level. You know, so if this person deserves, if management believes and that they deserve those dollars to stay to solidify defense, it's worth it.
Definitely, definitely. Well, I'll leave you on this last question. How can my audience find the Living American Dream book?
Thank you much, man. So you can find my book on most platforms, all platforms, Barnes & Noble, Amazon. You can find Before Common Ground, Living the American Dream, Journey of an Immigrant Football Player, as well as my most recent release, Upon This Ground I Trod. Upon This Ground I Trod, The Journey Continues. Once again on Barnes & Noble and most, just Google it and you'll find it. Of course, if you want a signed copy by me, you can always cash at me, $SHAFT, SHAFT 90 with your information, and that'll be $20. Sorry to put that out here, but I can send you a signed copy too. That's Shaft 90, and that's Cash App.
Heck yeah, man. I might take you up on that offer, Mr. Pat.
Thank you.
Well, it was a blessing to have you on our show. And Pat, this concludes it, my friend.
Thank you much for having me again, Zachary. It was my pleasure.
Take care, my friend, and God bless. Peace out.
God bless. Peace.